Greetings and welcome to our Connections newsletter. We're in a series each week on Love Is, based upon a devotional written by Paul David Tripp. This is the second week at what we're looking at as to what love really is in our relationships, beginning with our marriages, and of course extending to our friendships and all of those who are around us. The second thing that love is, according to Tripp, is that love is actively fighting the temptation to be critical and judgmental toward others while looking for ways to encourage and praise. Now think about that. If you're married or you're in a relationship with someone, or your friendships, your co-workers, the people at your church, that the way we're to live our lives, if we're to live lives of love, and remember, the second greatest commandment after loving the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul and strength is to love one another. But love is actively fighting that temptation to be critical and judgmental towards others. Let's face it, that's an easy thing. I grew up in the church, and my dad was always either a deacon or he was chairman of the deacons, and my dad was always the friend of the pastor. And it seemed like people wanted to constantly come to my dad to kind of convince him of all the things that were wrong with the preacher in the church. Every Sunday we sat behind two ladies that seemed to want to complain about how he was dressed on Sundays. You know, what color of tie he had on, and how inappropriate that might be. It was silly stuff. And I remember a group of people coming to our house when I was probably in grade school still, and they came to our house and they had made a list of all the complaints that they had about the pastor. And they wanted to sit down with my dad and go through those complaints and prove their point. And my dad said, wait, I've got something too. And he walks out of the room and he comes back in with this slip of paper and he says, I want to show you my list of complaints. And he holds up a blank piece of paper. He says, I've dealt with these things, and I'm actively not going to look at ways to be critical, but ways to encourage and build up. So it should be with our relationships. According to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 11, I love these words because they're written in the context of Christ's return and how we should be living these days. And it says, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up. Encourage one another and build each other up. You know, words do matter. So how will you use your words today in the conversations that you have? Trust me, we'll all be tempted to be critical, whether we say the words or just feel them in our heart. We'll always have the temptation to be judgmental. Could you turn those opportunities into ways to look for ways to build someone up and encourage them? Because that's what love really is. May the Lord bless you and keep you as you go through your day. Thanks for tuning in.